now we open 2012 IYF World Camp.
Officially held for the 11th time this year from 40 different countries with approximately 5,000 participants. The world's largest scale youth camp, 2012 IYF Korea World Camp opened in Busan. The opening ceremony that took place in the beautiful Haeundae presented various programs such as the performances of top-class Russian musicians and the Gracias Choir. The students looked forward to the world of our hearts and changing minds as they'd be learning about throughout the World Camp as they watched the grand opening ceremony. There is a special mindset of leaders that lead this world. The special guest lecture is a time prepared to teach the mindsets to the young leaders of IYF who will be leading the world in the future. From entrepreneurs to sports players, various leaders from different fields came and spent time with the students. The IYF students took off to the local specialty of Busan, the Jagalchi market. Both Koreans and foreigners were surprised at the many fresh fishery products gathered here and was instantly attracted to the warm hospitality of Busan. Meanwhile, there were students marveling at the magnificently preserved nature of Taejongdae. Screams of excitement also resounded in Haeundae. In the midst of mischievous water spraying, friendship beyond language and culture could be seen. The time spent together back in the lodging was a good chance to know each other. Sharing hearts through conversations, laughing, and enjoyment through little games, and soon becoming close friends to the heart. The reason for such fun throughout the camp was because of the friends wearing pretty orange ribbons, the volunteer workers. While their fellow students watched performance or went for a tour, they were busy in protocol, cafeterias, guide, tour, and translation. Without a sign of wariness, they volunteered for their fellow students who enjoyed their time due to their help. Under the lights of the stage, the diverse cultural performances presented each moment excited the students. Various performances of various culture from China to Japan, Thailand to Kenya, and even Ukraine were shown in one spot. Time for learning a Kenyan song, Jambo. The students are excited by the sight of the Kenyan students dancing to a familiar song to them and start to react with waves of cheers. The death and resurrection of Jesus unfolding on a grand stage. Shown for the first time in Korea, the Easter cantata of the Gracias Choir. Also, the Christmas cantata performed in the midsummer of July gave enjoyment to the eyes, ears, and the hearts of the students. The moment most awaited by the students wanting change and ability to move their world, the mind lecture. Many people are blinded by their own beliefs and close their hearts to one another as well, as they become full of themselves and despise others. However, those students who listen to the mind lecture of Pastor Oksu Park gradually learn to change by controlling their own minds and desires instead of following their thoughts. Pushed around in the age of limitless competition, many students are deprived of their dreams as they are caught within the walls of reality and their thought. But the World Camp gives them the strength to change the world. Through this camp, the students find their dreams, share their hearts, and experience a new kind of happiness found nowhere else. A globally serious issue of the youth. The second gathering of Minister of Youth World Forum, which is the world's first international network to solve this issue, took place at the Busan Nurimaru APEC House. The lost and wandering youths of different countries Various solutions to these issues were discussed in the forum, and many nations promised their cooperation with the IYF, that is currently a leading organization of change for many youths around the world. Afterwards, the ministers of youth headed towards the Leaders Forum for university students, where students were in deep discussion. Leaders Forum is where college students actually gather together to discuss and diagnose the issues of their generation and search for solutions. A special group meeting prepared for ministers and students. Both students and ministers are overwhelmed with their meeting with the nation's leader and with the youth full of so much passion and dreams. Through the freely exchanged ideas and questions, the ministers can also see the future leaders of this world. Obviously, they hope for an opportunity such as this for those college students in their home country. The students also have a chance to think more practically and systematically by listening to the advice of those with real experience instead of theory. The sound of cheers filled the refreshing air of Taedok Mountain. Excitement filled the faces of students as they helped one another in the midst of mini Olympics. Games that could only be won with the united hearts of team members added greater joy in its victory. Experiencing even once is better than watching 100 times. Various cultures learned from direct experience. The World Camp's Academy in Taedok Center is a place of learning. It's the only place anyone will see boys and girls together with a facial treatment packs on their faces for better skin. The students are excited with their new experience in making bracelets for friends, delicious kimbap and cookies. Foreign students in love with Korea gathered together. This year's Foreigners Korean Singing Contest showed the exceptional popularity of K-pop. Though a bit unfamiliar with the pronunciation, the songs they sang from their hearts gained the applause and cheers of students. Hearts flowed with the melody as the saying, "Music has no boundaries." The IYF World Youth Cultural Festival was opened in Daegu, Gwangju, and Daejeon. The lively and unique stages presented by Latin America, Eastern Europe, Africa, and Korea of each continent invited the students to a festival of their own. The performances of Gracias Orchestra and Choir and world top-class artists that are hard to come by took place on the spot. Performances from Tchaikovsky's masterpieces to world folk songs and famous opera and musical numbers led the audiences into a grand world of music. The sound of applauses after each stage could not be compared to how much it touched the hearts of those listening. July 12th at the Seoul Olympic Stadium, the last day of the World Camp. The grand closing ceremony began. Now it is time for the students to say farewell. A cultural festival of various cultural colors that can only be presented by the IYF World Camp. The story of Eddie's meeting with the IYF through a pamphlet under his feet makes all the students think back to their own camp experience. Beautiful songs that brought tears to many people for many ages surrounded the stage. The Song of Two Lovers, the Song of the Oboe that opened the hearts of American Indians with arrows. The many stories told from stage moved the hearts of the students. The last message of Pastor Oksu Park, the founder of the IYF, that changed the hearts of many during the camp. He taught us of joy and happiness only experienced when hearts are opened, and the deep world of our hearts that could never be learned elsewhere. The closing ceremony ends, and now it's time for the students to say goodbye. Tears swell up in their eyes as they bid farewell to their close friends. What's behind such sadness of farewell in the short 12 days of the camp? They've experienced the joy of uniting their hearts as one throughout this World Camp. The World Camp gave the students the opportunity of experiencing future happiness created by the IYF. For those students who experienced this wonderful joy of uniting their hearts as one will now grow to become leaders who will color this dark and rough world with their joy.